Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome if you're new. For those of you that are new, my name is Anna and this is Home and Garden with Anna. As you can see, we have a mess to deal with and I've been procrastinating for the last couple of hours. It is 8:26 a.m. and I've got a lot to do. We are in crunch time getting ready for our son and daughter-in-law who are moving to Tennessee from Arizona, and they're going to be staying with us while they search for their forever home here in Tennessee. And with that comes more groceries and more stuff. In the last video, we cleaned out the room they're going to be taking over. I got that all cleaned. We got all the closets and all the stuff all organized. And this weekend, Ernie's going to be building the shelf for my linen storage in the breezeway between the upstairs hallway and the attic. We will eventually be moving to the garage, but for right now, I need to think pantry, refrigerator. But before I get to that, I have a mess to clean here in the kitchen. I went with my friend Sherry yesterday on another outing. We went to Bell Buckle, Tennessee. I love it there. It's such a cute little town. We had lunch, we did a little shopping. We visited an antique store and had a great conversation with an elderly couple that lives there on property, and they have a building full of old stuff. It was a fun outing. Anyways, while we were shopping, I came across some really cute mugs, and here are the patterns that I picked up. They're so beautiful. I love them. So I got those washed and put out on the counter because they are hand wash only. I didn't realize that when I bought them, but that's okay. It's okay. Let's go ahead and get started before I talk myself out of today's chore. The first thing I want to do is get this trash taken out and put a fresh bag in. This always makes me feel so much better. Start with the easiest first and move on to the hard, just to get yourself motivated. I would like to get these dish towels going. Okay. Do a quick little vacuum. Okay, and with that done, I feel motivated because I've done a couple of things. I'm getting so much accomplished in today's video. I get the pantry organized, I get the fridge organized, I get the freezer organized, and even the cabinet above the oven organized. Well, in this little area too, I decluttered some coffee mugs to make room for my new ones. I'm cleaning out the cabinets here and decluttering some mugs to make room for the new mugs. I had a whole video, like the way I was gonna edit it, I was talking and it took too long. So I had to like speed it up and do a voiceover for you guys. But I do wanna say, Sherry, I love you, girl. I really am so happy for our friendship. Sherry is a first subscriber and now forever friend of mine, and I'm so thankful for her. And I just want to let you guys know that you guys all mean so much to me, and that's what I love about this community, is the true friendships that I'm making here. I want to show you something. I need to find a home for all my sourdough stuff, but look at my new bread box. So pretty. I just got it yesterday. I had to put it together, but look at it. It has one tier, which this is my first sourdough that I made, and it's freaking delicious. However, it's a little too dense, and that's because I overproofed it. Still edible, just too dense. So I learned a lesson there, but this holds my other bread, and I love this because I can still have my little rolling picture thing, and the frame kind of disappears in there, and I just like this so much better. And I put the basket of chargers on the shelves in the office, and it works out so much better. So love it. Okay, I think I'm gonna put my sourdough stuff down here, although I am gonna be making sourdough this evening. for Ernie because he is so looking forward to fresh bread. And that one is just too dense, so I need to get this washed. Ernie is a bread fanatic, so I'm so excited that I'm doing this whole. The starter was the hard part. If you are somebody who wants to get into sourdough, once you get past the sourdough starter situation, you're good to go. So anyways, I ended up not making sourdough on this evening because I was just tired. I was tired of spending time in the kitchen after all this work. But it felt so good, you guys. I'm the kind of person that I'm joyful when my house appears clean, and I know it's clean. But my house, to me, is not clean unless I know behind the doors and drawers is clean as well. So this is a big deal for me, and it may not be a big deal for most people, but for me, it is a big deal. And with two more people moving in, and they have different dietary, needs or wants or whatever, I wanted to make sure that I had a storage situation here in the pantry where they felt like they could store stuff. And we are going to have that extra fridge. They're bringing their fridge, so that's lovely. So we'll have that whole situation. But I just wanted everything neat and organized, and so this is that you can see here. I'm moving stuff around. I didn't want to overwhelm myself by pulling everything out of the pantry like I've done in the past and then restocking it. I actually asked AI, I call her Chatty, it's Chat GPT, and I call her a she because she's a she to me, and I've nicknamed her Chatty, and I asked Chatty everything, and so she actually reorganized this pantry for me. I just snapped a couple of pictures, sent it to her, and said, hey, I need to organize this. Give me some ideas. And she did. So I kind of followed it, kind of didn't, but I was overwhelmed a lot of the time going through this. I think that walk-in pantries or a lot of storage can be a lot more daunting than when you have a smaller pantry. I've had both, and I feel like this one is just a little daunting. And the fact that I actually need a room for storage is actually what I need, because I'm a prepper. I like to have extra foods on hand, so I preserve a lot of things in my mason jars. I have a little contraption that removes the air from them so that they're airtight and safe for years to come. And that's just me, my own personal preference. So I would love to have a lot more of that. And so I need a room is what I need. But needs, wants, you got to deal with what you got to deal with. So this is what I have. But anyways, I wanted it to be neat and tidy and welcoming for anything that my kids want to bring into the house. So this was a really important step. Not only that, but we are hosting Thanksgiving. So leading up to that, starting in November, you're going to be seeing me adding a lot of content to my videos for prepping. I may just do one video. I don't know. I'm not really sure. But I'm going to be doing a lot of prepping for Thanksgiving because I'm going to have a lot of people here. And I want to make it as seamless as possible, as comfortable as possible, I don't want to be overwhelmed. And so whatever I can do ahead of time, and I can flash freeze and I can store in my freezer to prepare for the big day is what I'm going to be doing. So I'll be taking you guys along with me for that in November. I'm not going to do that in October. It'll be November. But we do potato croquettes, which is my mom's. It's a tradition in my family. I think I've shown them on the channel before. But we do those, and it's a 2-day process. So I'll be doing those in November, and I'll be flash freezing them and then vacuum sealing them and getting them in the freezer for Thanksgiving. So that's something I can check off my list. I'm going to be doing pie, not the pie crust, but I'll be doing the pie filling and getting those frozen and in the whatever desserts actually that I can do and get frozen and into the freezer. And oh gosh, whatever I can do to make my life easier, that's going to be a really fun time for me because I used to, in the olden days, always turn my garage into a dining room, and that involves renting furniture, and it also involves hanging painting tarps, brand new ones, not used, and creating a room in my garage, which is what I'm going to be doing, is creating a dining room in my garage, and I will be using my existing dining room table as the Thanksgiving buffet. We are going to have a lot of people here. So after dinner, after everybody's done grazing and all of that, usually we will break down the dining situation in the garage and we'll put the chairs back at the dining room table and everybody will just graze on the food and we'll just all hang out. There are several areas in our home now for people to hang out, and so that makes me very happy. So I feel very prepared in that way. So I love to entertain. Something that I love to do is have a basket of brand new cozy socks because women are creatures of comfort. And something that I have found with the women in my family is that we love our cozy socks and we love Thanksgiving and pie and coffee and movies, usually a Christmas movie on Thanksgiving evening. So I will have a basket of cozy socks for my female guests or even the males if they want to have them and get cozy and with their pie and some coffee or a glass of wine, whatever they feel like, and we'll watch movies. And I'm just so excited for all of this, you guys. I can't wait. Um, this is the first holiday where I have kind of felt I'm going to be missing one of my sons and my grandbabies, my daughter-in-law in California, so much. But this is the first holiday where I'm feeling like I'm prepping, like if I was back home and all my kids were around me. Doesn't that look better? So much more organized. You can breathe in here now, but I still have some stuff. So we're going to try and get this figured out. This pantry is so hard to film in because the lighting isn't super bright and there's no room to bring the camera in there. So I tried my very hardest. So I hope you guys can appreciate it still and still get the motivation. But I'm still working on getting everything organized and making sense. I didn't want this to be, let's just slap it together and make it look good. I wanted it to function well. So I was really trying to think hard about how it would function. I kind of followed the AI thing, but it's not always exact, just so you know. AI is not always exact. So I just kind of tried to follow the guidelines a little bit, but honestly, I could have done it without AI. You just follow your instincts when you're organizing. But anyways, like I said, I could use like a whole room. Like let me walk into the pantry and have cabinets or shelves on the left and the right and in the back and a whole thing. That would be my dream pantry, even for just Ernie and I. For me, as a mom and a grandmother, I feel like it's my duty to make sure that I always have plenty of food for my kids and grandkids. And this just does something for my heart to make sure that I can always feed anybody actually, that I run across that might be hungry or need something. It just does my heart good to be able to say, yes, you don't need you want a cup of sugar? I have a bag. Here's a bag of sugar. That's just me and that's just my personality. I'm a giver. I always have been. That's my love language. That's what I have always done. And so, anyways, it turned out really well. I'm going to give you guys a tour of it, but that ice machine is going to my son and daughter-in-law's house. Lots of stuff to throw away that was stale. I really want to encourage you to go through your pantry and look at the expiration dates. That's what I do. Probably twice a year. I go through my pantry. My fridge I clean out once a week, but probably about once, maybe twice a year, I look at the expiration on like salad dressings and sandwich fixings and that kind of stuff because it doesn't get used that often, but it gets used enough. And so, anyways, about twice a year I go through that stuff. Did you know that salad dressing is the #1 thing that you'll find in people's fridges that is severely expired? Yeah, I know. I was shocked too, but it's true. Okay, here is the new pantry. All organized. Everything expired or stale has been removed. And I ended up using that bread box for the extra like brown sugar and powdered sugar and just put down here where it's nice and secure. I have all my chilies and that basket I showed you down here. Kids snacks. I use these 2 bins for chips and crackers and rice cakes, and then all my like bagged oats and quinoa and all that kind of stuff in there. All of this is canned goods, some baked goods. This is like all my extra overstock. And then, well, this is kind of self-explanatory. And I have all my protein powders and stuff. Some pasta here, because this is where it would fit. And then all of my sugars and brown sugar and wheat flour and stuff there. So it looks good. I had room for water. This is going to my daughter-in-law here. Sister looked through those. And then I have some extra containers that were empty in there. Or I emptied, which are these here. So I need to get these sanitized and put away. And this is the bag of trash. And everything is clean. But now I think we have time to get to the fridge. So let me shut this. Makes me feel so good when that's done. Oh, I love it. This is the state of my fridge. It's a disaster. I need to organize it. It's driving me nuts. My fridge is typically not this full, but I had done a grocery order probably about 4 or 5 days before this, and I had every intention of getting everything organized and prepped and all of that, and so I hadn't gotten to it yet. It was driving me crazy. I hate when my fridge looks like this, so I needed to take care of that, so that is what we're going to do. And I do this every week. I clean my fridge out every Tuesday night because my trash comes on Wednesdays. So it is my routine to empty all the trash in my house, like the bathrooms, from the kitchen, in the fridge, and all of that. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing, to make it a routine to empty out your fridge of all the leftovers and expired items the day before trash day. Get it out in the bin and out to the curb, and then you don't have to worry about it. That's the routine that I'm on, and I love it. But like I said, this particular time that I'm doing the fridge, I had, did the grocery shopping and didn't prep stuff and didn't get it properly organized. Also, fell on the same time around that I needed to check the expiration on all of the condiments in the refrigerator doors. So I'm also going to be doing a restock, so don't go away because you're going to want to see me restock all the drinks and all of that. At this point, I had already done a order with Kroger, and so they're going to be delivering that while I was getting all my housework done, and then we're going to get it all put away here in the fridge. But you have to let me know in the comments, what is your routine for keeping your pantry and your fridge decluttered, expiration items thrown out, and keeping it organized? Because if it doesn't help me, it may help somebody else that watches the video and reads the comments, and I love this community for that. I love that we can always offer each other tips and advice and routines, because sometimes people have a hard time getting into a routine, but what do they say? If you do it like at least a week, or it takes a month or something like that to develop the routine. So if you just force yourself to do it every week for a month, it's just going to become a habit, and that is what it is for me. And so I chose my refrigerator clean out to be done once a week, the day before the trash man comes. Okay, and here's the fridge, all organized. All of the veggies in here are good, so I need to get my butt busy and start making some veggie dishes. And I need to get some more eggs, I need to get some more drinks up here, but other than that, everything is fabulous. It looks so good. We need to deal with this. It is a complete disaster, and I need to organize it. Before we get to the freezer, I wanted to take care of the mess that I had made from the fridge. And this is key when you're doing big, huge clean outs. After I did the pantry, I cleaned up. Now, after I've done the fridge, I'm cleaning up. And this just keeps you sane so you don't feel overwhelmed. So that is what I'm doing now. I wanted to make sure to get everything tossed out that needed to get thrown away, everything washed that needed to be washed, and just keep my life sane so that I had the motivation to keep moving forward. But what is it about the freezer? I feel like the freezer is the wicked stepmother or sister or whatever it is. We just ignore it. As long as we can get things to fit in there and it looks semi-decent, then we're good. But that's how stuff gets buried. And every single time I ignore the fact of keeping my freezer organized, I end up throwing out something that I wish I wouldn't have thrown out. So I want to say that when you do your grocery shopping, prepping, just include that time. I need to do this. Sometimes I don't, and I always pay the price for it. But prepping your fruits, your vegetables, and your meats with the vacuum sealer, if you don't have one, get one. Mine is not available anymore, so that's why I don't link it. But you can get a decent vacuum sealer for a decent price on Amazon. Just find one. I'll link one for you, and you can choose to click on that one if you want to. But mine is no longer available. But if you have a vacuum sealer, just make the food prep situation part of grocery shopping day. That's just how you have to think about it. Because every time I don't, I lose food. I lose my, let's say you buy a pint of strawberries and you have this, I'm going to make this with the strawberries, but 4 days goes by and you haven't, you haven't done it. You haven't made the dessert or whatever it is you decided to do with strawberries. Flash freeze them and get them vacuum sealed and in your freezer. You will use them for, jam or whatever it is, but you will not waste them. So I love my vacuum sealer. I would say that is something that I cannot go without in my kitchen. And I also have the vacuum sealer for mason jars. That also is something that helps me preserve food. So if I just happen to run across, let's say, rice is on sale, I'm gonna go ahead and buy it, and I'm going to preserve it in mason jars. So I always have a back stock of mason jars. Like I said, I have the mason jar vacuum sealer that pulls all the air out of the mason jars so that I can store things long term. And that is just, I don't know, so key to me. So I just always not always, obviously, because I'm throwing stuff away, but I do miss times that I do it. Let's keep it real. But for the majority of my time, I do include prepping my food as part of my grocery shopping or, whatever it is. I do that. And maybe some of you don't have time to do that, but for me, it's key. It's just key in keeping my kitchen functioning properly. And like I said, I like everything behind closed doors to look good. So, this is everything that I pulled out of the freezer, and some of it is going to get tossed because I didn't treat it properly before putting it in the freezer. And it's a major bummer when that happens. It always just hurts my heart when that happens. And sometimes it's not my fault. Sometimes it's the vacuum seal bags will fail at some point, and I don't know because they're in the freezer. And so you'll see that. I'll be talking about that. But also my ice maker had collected, I don't know what happened, but it had collected a bunch of ice in the back that was all stuck together like a block. So that was bothering me. So I wanted to pull that out. I dumped all the loose ice into a bowl, rinsed and dried out the ice bin, and then poured the ice back in and got that placed back in the freezer. Just wanted, this is a good time to make sure all of your things are functioning properly too. So it's not only just cleaning and organizing, which is always fabulous, right? We all love a clean, organized, tidy space. And that is one of the things that I do here on my channel is we do this all year round. So you won't see me spring clean. I don't have these major spring cleaning videos. I do this kind of stuff year round. So if you're somebody who wants to keep a neat, tidy, organized home with real messes and real life in between, this is a channel for you because I keep it real, and we don't need to spring clean our home when spring hits because we have been keeping up on our housework all year long. But nothing makes me more happy than to open up my freezer drawer and see this. I can see everything, and that's a beautiful thing. And when I was doing this, I was like, I got all kinds of meals in here. Okay, this is why vacuum sealing is so important. I never got to this, and then it got buried, which is a bunch of shredded beef. Oh, such a bummer. Garlic bread, sealed. If you don't vacuum seal after a while, it's just not worth it. Save it. And the same with these 4 pie crust. If you remember, we made a ton of these for the freezer last year. These are the only 4 that I didn't use, and I never wrapped them properly, so those are done. And this happens sometimes. The air was let out in these, and so now they're not good. They won't taste good, so I have to get rid of those. Had a couple of old ice creams in there. The same with these broccoli. Unfortunately, they got freezer burn because the air is let out. So I reset my ice tray, and then I used my separator here for kids' treats. And then this is like little snacks when they come over. Sometimes they're just famished and they want to throw something in the air fryer, so I have that kind of stuff there. This is all the meats, and this is how I like to spend a day doing individual turkey patties. I'll do the chicken patty or the chicken breast like I told you. And then these are for larger meals, and this is how the broccoli should have looked, vacuum sealed and frozen. And this is how the peppers should have looked. So sometimes we'll take those peppers out, we'll use them in potatoes or what have you. These are all my fruits for smoothies, and these are all those bananas that we vacuum sealed together. And these are zucchini spirals. Now we have a completely organized freezer. We have a completely organized fridge. Looks so good. Love it. And my favorite, which is a completely organized pantry. It's perfect. With a clean floor, which makes me very happy. I love it. I was feeling so accomplished after all of this was done. I'm going to go ahead and get everything thrown away, which is never a good feeling when you have to throw food away, but we're going to get it all out of the house. We're going to show ourselves some grace. We're going to get all these dishes that I washed, dried, and put away. We're going to get the kitchen looking really good, and then I'm going to have some groceries delivered, and we're going to get those put away. And that always makes me feel extra good to restock things that I need in the refrigerator. We always like to have a lot of eggs. We like to have bacon. When I find bacon on sale, I will always buy more than we need and get that put in the freezer. And it's the weekend or it's approaching as I'm doing this, so we like to cook a lot at home. So we're going to get the groceries put away. I'm going to give you guys some final looks, some final before and afters, and they are very satisfying. I hope you guys feel that. Ernie and I, by the way, are very addicted to these chows, but the Pellegrinos. Ernie loves the blood orange. I love the cherry. And we cannot go a day without them. We love them, so I wanted to make sure to stock those before he got home. He was coming home on this evening, and so that was important to me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoy the befores and afters. I hope that you guys got a ton of motivation to get your pantry, your fridge, and your freezer cleaned out. And even that little bonus above the oven, one cabinet cleaned out. I think that that just was the icing on the cake for me, because that cabinet had been bothering me and I needed to get those things that I took out of the pantry stored. And so that was the best place to put them, and it forced me to get that cabinet organized. So perfect. My hope in this video and on this channel is always to motivate and inspire you guys to tackle an area, a room, or just something in your home that's been bothering you, or just to get you up off the sofa and moving and grooving, because you know what? You guys motivate me to do that, and that's why I upload twice a week. And so thank you. I want to say thank you for keeping me motivated, and I hope I'm motivating you guys equally. I thought I was going to cook myself dinner, so I took out a chicken breast and some broccoli, but I ended up ordering in and I was tired. So I ended up putting that back in the freezer. I wanted to get all these dishes put away, just make sure that the kitchen looked really good so that tomorrow I could wake up and say, yes, everything is neat and tidy behind the doors, behind the drawers. Everything is neat and tidy on the counters, and this cabinet right here is organized. Oh boy, this one drives me nuts. But I pull in and out of here for all of my foil and parchment paper and all of that. And then my Ninja's in here, so I pull that out for smoothies or salsa or whatever it is I'm making. And it just tends to get very messy. So I took this opportunity to organize it. I had a vacuum sealer in there that was no longer working. I tend to hang on to those things for a minute just to make sure they really don't work. So I needed to get that out of there. So it felt really good to get this cabinet organized as well. I got some really great before and after pictures coming up for you guys, so make sure to stay tuned for that. I want to say thank you so much for always supporting my channel, for always being here, for always showing up. You guys mean the world to me. Your friendship means the world to me. And I hope that we can work together and motivate each other for many years to come. Thanks for staying, guys, till the very end, and we will see you on Wednesday. Bye.